In the year 897, something happened in Rome that still shocks historians today. A pope ordered a corpse dug out of its grave. The body was dressed in full papal robes. It was placed on a throne inside a church. And then this dead man was put on trial. The judge was the Pope himself. The defendant had been dead for 9 months. This was not a legend. This was not symbolism. This was a real court case in medieval Rome, known to history as the Cadaver Synod. The world behind the madness. To understand why this happened, we must go back to 9th century Italy. Rome was not stable. The papacy was deeply political. Power was controlled by rival noble families, not just the church. Popes rose and fell quickly. Many were installed by force. Others were removed just as violently. Into this chaos stepped a man named Formosus. Who was Formosus? Formosus was born around 816 AD. He became a respected churchman and diplomat. In 864, he was made Bishop of Porto, one of the most powerful bishoprics near Rome. Formosus traveled widely on papal missions. He gained influence and enemies. In 891, Formosus was elected Pope Formosus, but his election was controversial. The political divide at the heart of the conflict was control of the Holy Roman Empire. Two powerful families were fighting for dominance. The Spoleto dynasty, their rivals, backed by East Francia, modern Germany. Pope Formosus feared the Spoleto rulers. He believed they threatened Rome, so he made a dangerous decision. The fatal choice. In 894, Pope Formosus invited Arnulf of Carinthia, king of East Francia, to invade Italy. His goal was to overthrow Lambert of Spoleto, the reigning emperor. Arnulf marched on Rome. In 896, Formosus crowned Arnulf as Holy Roman Emperor, but Arnulf soon suffered a stroke and withdrew. The Spoleto family returned to power. Formosus was now exposed. Death of a pope on April 4, 896. Pope Formosus died. He was buried in St. Peter's Basilica. Under normal circumstances, that would have been the end. But Rome was not done with him. Rise of Pope Stephen VI. Later in 896, a new pope was elected. Pope Stephen VI, also known as Stephen VII, depending on numbering systems. Stephen was closely allied with the Spoleto faction, the same people Formosus had opposed. They wanted revenge, but Formosus was already dead. So they did something unprecedented. The Cadaver Synod begins in January 897. Pope Stephen VI ordered Formosus's body exhumed. The corpse had been dead for about 9 months. It was already decomposing. Still, it was dressed in papal vestments. A crown was placed on its head, and the body was seated on a throne in the Lateran Basilica. A deacon was appointed to speak on behalf of the corpse. Then the trial began. The charges. Formosus was accused of 3 main crimes: perjury, breaking previous oaths, violating canon law, becoming pope while already a bishop, illegally seeking the papacy. Stephen VI screamed accusations at the corpse. Contemporary accounts describe Stephen as furious, unstable, and shouting. The dead pope, of course, said nothing. The verdict, the outcome, was predetermined. Formosus was declared guilty. All his acts as pope were ruled invalid. His ordinations were cancelled. Clergy he appointed were stripped of rank. Then came the final humiliation. Punishment of a corpse. Stephen VI ordered the 3 fingers Formosus used for blessings to be cut off. The body was stripped of its papal robes. At first, it was buried in a common grave. But even that was not enough. Soon after, Stephen ordered the corpse exhumed again and thrown into the Tiber River. Rome reacts. The people of Rome were horrified. This was too much of an for a violent age. Soon after the Cadaver Synod, Rome erupted in unrest. By August 897, Pope Stephen VI was arrested. He was imprisoned, and then he was strangled to death in his cell. The aftermath, the chaos, did not end there. Over the next few years, 2 popes annulled the Cadaver Synod. One briefly reinstated its rulings. Another reversed them again. Finally, in 898, Pope John IX officially declared the trial invalid. All rulings against Formosus were overturned. His body, reportedly recovered from the river, was reburied with honor in St. Peter's Basilica. A church in crisis, the Cadaver Synod is remembered as one of the darkest moments in papal history. It exposed how deeply corrupted the papacy had become by politics. It showed how power, not faith, often ruled medieval Rome. Modern historians view the event not as insanity, but as political terror, a warning sent to enemies. Even death would not protect you. The trial of Pope Formosus was meant to erase a man from history. Instead, it made him unforgettable. Today, the Cadaver Synod stands as a reminder. When institutions abandon justice, even the dead are not safe. A pope judged a corpse. The verdict was guilty. But history judged the trial and found it far worse.